Hey dolls, welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michawn and I do weekly DIYs, hauls, and other fun things. So if you love low budget crafting, go ahead and consider subscribing as well as hitting the bell so you don't miss an upload. If you're not new, hey doll, hey! In today's video, I have a black and white home decor theme, and I absolutely love how all of these came out. I even have a shiplap DIY. Alright dolls, let's get started. So for the first DIY, I am using 3 of these cups. They were actually in the automotive section of Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and remove the tops and spray paint them white. This is flat white from Rust-Oleum. This is what they look like after they have dried. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint the insides, not the entire inside, but just like the top quarter of it white. I'm using Snow White from Apple Barrel Paint, and I actually went ahead and gave all 3 of these cups 2 coats of white paint, and I also painted around the rim. This is what they look like dry. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take these rub-on transfers that I got from Dollar Tree and also this new stencil that I just picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use the word sweet. I'm going to go ahead and do the stencil first so I can give it time to dry. I'm going to go ahead and tape off one side. I didn't think about this before, but because it's a cup, it's a circular shape, so it was kind of hard for it to lay flat. So when you do this, just go ahead and make sure you hold it down with your thumb or your finger. I tried to tape down another side. It just didn't work out for me. But it came out really nice in the end. So I just went ahead and took a stencil brush and used this elephant gray from Apple Barrel and then just painted that in. Set aside that to dry, then I'm going to go ahead and do my rub-on transfers. I like to use a ruler instead of my finger because I always sometimes feel like I scratch it up. So I didn't want to do that. So I'm just using a ruler to go ahead and scratch that on there and then go ahead and peel it off carefully. If anything comes up, if you have a piece that comes up, just put the film back down and then just scratch more of it on so that it can transfer nicely. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take these windmill signs and these butterfly signs. So I have a bunch of these and I've used a couple of windmills in my last few DIYs, but what I'm going to do is actually use the chains for these. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pliers, my needle nose pliers, and go ahead and remove all of those chains. And what I'm doing is go ahead and hang them like I did already on one to make sure that I knew what I was doing. So once I took off all of those hooks, I'm going to go ahead and count to see how many links that I have in that first cup. And it was 5. So you're going to cut down or take some of the links off because the windmill ones, I think they have 7 links that they come with, and then the butterflies only have 3 or 4. But I also took apart the bell that's on underneath the butterfly. If you have them, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you go get them, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I pretty much just separated my hooks and my links to make sure that I had enough. So to make a hole, I'm going to go ahead very carefully and pierce a hole with my X-Acto knife. If you have a tool that can drill a hole, I would recommend using one. I do not have one. I tried to make a hole with a screwdriver, but it just didn't work. So I needed something a little bit sharper. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this little screwdriver that I have. I got a really cute tool set for Mother's Day, so this is where it came from. And then I'm just going to put some force in it, but make sure you're very careful so you don't injure your hands or anything, and twist it back and forth to make a hole in that cup. And then I'm going to do that on both sides. I don't really like measure out. I just kind of eyeball the other side. So now that I have that hole, I'm going to go ahead and put the hook in there. So I have the end of the link. I'm going to go ahead and take my pliers, open that up, and then fish it through that hole, and then take my pliers and then close the link. So the easiest way to do this, because it's kind of an awkward, you're kind of in an awkward position, is to take the link, bend it back first, and then squeeze it up against the cup to make sure that it stays. You could glue this if you want, but I didn't feel the need that I had to do that. For the next side, I just kind of eyeballed it and did the same exact thing. And this is what it looks like when you're done with both sides. For the middle cup for sweet, I didn't have another hook, so I went ahead and just split one. So I had enough links left over where I was able to, I believe, do 4 down and then 2 on the sides, 2 on the left and the right side. If you can see what I'm doing, I'm kind of splitting it to make sure that I can get a hole on both sides of the cup. And that's pretty much what I did for that. You just do the same thing, cut, make a hole, put your screwdriver in, then fish it through, and I absolutely love how these turned out. I ended up putting them on a dowel rod, and I had some equipment, some hanging equipment, just put that on the wall and hung it up, put some floral and greenery in it, and I absolutely love it. For the next DIY, I am using 2 of these bunny welcome signs, some white paint that I got, as well as a wreath that I actually picked up this wreath from Kroger. I'm going to go ahead and I attempted to remove the backing off of the sign. It didn't work, the front side. So I just covered it up with some computer paper with hot glue, and then hot glued it together, and then also hot glued down some craft sticks. After I have that complete, I'm going to go ahead and cover my holes and any separation with some of that lightweight spackle. Then I'm just going to paint this white. I did 2 coats. Because it's not chalk paint, it actually took overnight to dry. And then it bled on the edge, so I just took a sanding block and sanded down the edges. Next, I'm going to take this ruler that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and measure out my lines with a simple black Sharpie. Now, I didn't have to do this in 3 parts. I don't know why I did this line in 3 parts, but I just measured it out as the width of this ruler and went all the way down and then all the way up the sign. Pretty easy. Once I had all of my lines complete, then I went ahead and took these rub-on transfers just as I did for the previous DIY and placed those where I wanted. I have these 2 lavender wreaths that I got from Kroger. So pretty. They were only $2 and they're kind of flimsy. They're kind of like Dollar Tree wreaths. They're a little sad. This probably is not as sad. It's just, weeping. But anyways, I went ahead and glued those together on the stem of the wreath. Then I took this ribbon that I got from Kroger as well. It was $1 and went ahead and wrapped it on top of the wreath to be able to hot glue it to the back. I didn't want anything on the actual sign because I wanted it to be transferable in regards to the wreath or not have anything on there at all. And I absolutely love this, like literally so easy to get a faux shiplap design. For the next and last and probably easiest DIY, I took these 2 white frames. All I'm going to do is paint the frames black. I thought this would be really, really pretty and really, really cute. And I did 2 coats of the black paint on all sides, in the inside and the outside. And this is how they turned out. So pretty, so easy. I ended up putting these black and white gingham or checkered bows on them. I made them out of some ribbon that I got from Christmas time at Walmart last year. So nice. I absolutely love how all of these turned out. They're so pretty, so high-end looking and so easy to make. All right, dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. All right, dolls, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.